question is this a Fender Strat or is this not a Fender Strat? Okay, now here's the story behind this Strat. Is this a Fender Strat? Yes, it is. This is a Fender made in Mexico in the year 2000 Stratocaster. It is, the serial number dates 2000, not 2001, not 1999, but 2000 itself. But the real story behind this guitar is a friend of mine, a real good friend named Mike, he had been given to him a neck from a Fender made in Mexico standard Strat at some point or another. And it had been floating around in his basement for several years. And then it wound up floating in the back of his truck for a while. Thank God inside the truck, not in the bed in the back. And he said to me one day, he goes, "Hey man, I got this Fender neck. You want it?" And I was like, "Ah, why don't you put it on eBay? You could probably sell it and make a few bucks or something, you know, who cares?" And he goes to me, he goes, "No, I'd rather see you do something because you'll build something out of it. You'll put it to use." I said, "Awesome. Thank you very much." He wouldn't take anything for it. God bless him. Thanks, Mike. So I took that guitar and I had some tuning pegs, 2 sets of tuning pegs laying around. These ones came off a Epiphone copy of a Strat from like the 80s. It just floated around. That came long since gone. And I took it with another chrome set and I mixed it. So if you look, it's like black with the chrome caps in front. And of course now I have a set floating around somewhere that's chrome with black caps, but whatever. I just wanted it because I thought it looked a little bit different. And then I needed a body. Woohoo! This blue body. So I went online. I was like, you know what? I know some kid's going to be out there on Craigslist or some mom or dad with their kids Squire Strat because I just needed a body. And I found one. I was specifically looking for an affinity body because the affinity bodies are 1/4 of an inch thinner. I think they're made out of alder wood, but they're 1/4 of an inch thinner than your regular size Strat body. And to me, especially at this day and age of life, anything that's lighter on stage, the lighter it is, the better it is. So, you know, if you're jockeying around for over an hour or whatever and you got a 10-ton weight around your neck, it's not going to be that fun after a while. So, I wanted anything that shaved off weight. So then I had a body. After that, I was like, well, the single coil pickups in those things are not what is of any use to me. You know what I mean? We need humbuckers in this band. So I went to dragonfire.com. Dragonfire.com sells, to me, great pickups at an affordable price. They're not expensive. They're far from cheap or shit pickups. They really work and sound great. And they're hot as hell too, which again works for us. So I got this dual humbucky setup right here. All I had to do was wire it in. Everything came in. The volume pots came in, and they're like the full-size pots, not the little dinky ones. And the switch, quality switch. So I put the whole thing in. These are called screamers, is what their designation name is. I put this whole thing in. It took 5 minutes. I kept the original bridge that was on the Affinity. I was like, there's no really need to change it. I block all the bridges, or I deck them, depending on what guitar it is and how much I want to screw around. Everything that we have is a detuned guitar anyway. Everything is a step down. So there's not that much tension on the strings. And then, what did I do on this one? What I did with this one is I put 4 springs in the back, and I just tightened it all the way down so that the base of the bridge touches the body. I like that. When they're pulled all the way, they're not floating, and it's decked all the way down. This thing is rock solid. I have played this thing at shows, and we pound on them well over an hour and not had anything ever go out of tune by any measure. So this thing is stable as all hell, stays in tune, plays great, and between the loaded pick guard, which I think cost me $50 at the time, I think they've gone up to 60 cents then, but paid $50 for that, paid $50 for the Affinity that I had, which the neck on that I just took off and it's floating around somewhere, and the electronics I think I just junked throughout. So for a guitar that I have literally $100 wrapped up in, I have a parts caster that is for all intents, it is a Stratocaster. It's got your standard Strat neck, a Fender Squire body, pickups, and I like these pickups better because I always have a hard time with Strats. I love Stratocasters and Telecasters. That's like my gig, right? But the volume knob on those things is always too goddamn close to the pickup. And if I'm playing with one with 3 positions on, or 3, you know, volume, tone, like a regular Strat, I am invariably knocking this volume control around and lowering it or something. So for me, it's better that this one here is down another inch. Then I never touch it. And I never use, almost never use a bridge pickup. Or pardon me, a neck pickup. Duh. I almost never ever use one. Now that, as I've gotten older, sometimes I like to pank it in and solo and get that nice clean, whatever. But especially when we're playing live, it's the bridge and nothing else. You know what I mean? So I like to keep it simple. Anything else on this guitar I've done weird? I don't think so. I have a slightly enlarged screw in the bottom of the output jack. And that's only because the small screw that was in there from being put in and out so many times just started getting a little strip, so I put a little more beefy screw in there. I could have filled the hole with wood filler, I just didn't care, I just grabbed a thicker screw. But that's her. She works, she plays, oh yeah, I didn't even though I had a whole bunch of other plates floating around, you know what I mean? I didn't even change the plate on the back of it. I still kept the one that said Squire on it. I wasn't trying to fool the world and say, oh no, this is all Fender USA or Fender Mexico or whatever, because I don't give a shit about stuff like that. If the guitar is good and it works and it sounds and it plays and everything like that, I really don't care who makes it or where it's made. And I'll tell you, $100. Played the shit out of this thing. There's so many photographs of us using this guitar live, or me using this guitar live at our shows, that for me it's almost like, as goofy as it might sound, it's like kind of like my signature version of a guitar. You know, I put it together, I built it up, and you know, kind of love her the way she is. The only thing on this guitar is that the neck, the frets on this thing are like old school medium size frets. They're not like extra jumbos or something like that. So when you play her, you got to be more spot on. You can't be like, you know, missing and, you know, instead of fretting here, you're fretting there, and have it. You got to play it right, which I kind of like. It makes you work a little bit. But the neck is stable as hell, and you know the fret job on it is nice, and she does the job. So anyway, my Fender Stratocaster slash Partscaster slash whatever you want to call it, because it's all Fender or Fender licensed junk. So to my man Mike, who gave me that neck years ago, and I've been using this guitar a lot since. Bless you, Bruja, and over and out. Thank you.